everybody. Welcome back to George Does Stuff, the possibly worst knife review channel on YouTube, a moniker that I wear with such delight. Anyway, so today we have a knife. I don't know how to describe this knife, and apparently the manufacturers don't either, because this is the box it comes in with absolutely no writing on it. No writing on the side. No writing at all. There's just a sticker on the bottom. We'll get to that here in a minute. But yes, so this is a knife that I bought off of Amazon. I bought it in regards to this knife because this knife claims to be D2 steel, and I have my doubts. I did get a second generation of this, which feels a little bit different. It may be a little bit better. It may not. It's too early to tell, but I did do a review of it. So anyhow, this claims to be D2 steel. I don't think it is. This thing does not hold an edge for crap. So I wanted to buy another D2 steel knife that was very inexpensive. And this one, I like the shape of it. And so let's open her up. And oh, why? What? Why? There is a sheath, a fine leather sheath that comes with this knife for no reason, because it has a clip. You don't need a sheath if you got a clip. I guess maybe if you're wearing, fine linens or something, you don't want to rough them up. You can put it in. I don't know why there's a sheath. I don't. But they put a sheath in there. And so let's take her out. Just want to let you know that obviously I have already taken this knife out. I've actually carried this knife. I've carried this knife quite a bit. And we're going to talk about that. So anyhow, this knife, it's probably in the title somewhere, but it is the, let's see if I can get a good shot of this here for you. This is the Phoelux pocket folding Kenai outdoor hiking and hunting. And let me tell you, that's, woof. That's a whole lot to take in. I was trying to figure out a polite way to talk about this, and I don't think there really is. In life, there will be, hopefully for all of us, there'll be people who come into your life that you will want to take home to meet your family, and then there'll be your dirty side pieces. And so it's like you have this wholesome bit of goodness that everything about it is wonderful, and you want everybody to know it, and you want this to have your babies, and this is your life partner forever, and you'd never be without that. And this is that, oh man, call up at 3 o'clock in the morning to get whatever you need done because it's not the dream piece at all. This knife is a piece of crap, and I love it. I love this knife. First of all, it has so many ways of deployment. It has a front flipper, a back flipper. It has holes. You can, if you're a regular person, unlike myself, you can reverse flick it. I can't because I got old man hands. You can flick it open like that. I don't know if I've ever used a front flipper. I am not a front flipper guy at all. No, we're not going to do that. But the back flipper works the best, in my opinion. And I am a huge fan of back flippers. As a matter of fact, personally, if it were up to me, I'd cut this off and just have this be a back flipper. And, China, what's with the front flippers? Do we really need front flippers? What? Did somebody make a bet that we get a bunch of Americans to buy front flippers? I don't get that at all. But the back flipper, it works like a charm. I love the blade geometry on this. I absolutely love it. I love these. It's got a full flat grind, a little swedge on there. I like the black out here and the polish. Actually it's stone washed. Let me see. I'd say actually a few more times. Let's see if we can get in there. I mean, it is just, I hate the fact it's got this giant billboarding on there, but you can see in big old letters there, it's made out of D2 steel. And I can tell you, unequivocally, without any doubt, this knife is made out of D2 steel. I'll get back to that here in a second. I did take this knife apart. I probably should in this video, but I'm not going to. If somebody, says, hey, please make another video of this knife and take it apart, I absolutely will. The bearings on this look like washers, okay? The bearings are flat, completely flat, with just like 6 little BBs impregnated in them. I don't even know if they move freely. It literally is like a washer with bumps on it. So the action on this is, you can't feel it, but it just feels like metal grinding on metal. It is not smooth. It is not dreamy. It has a liner lock that the liner lock on this is so thin. I mean, it is absolutely just wafer thin. It is ridiculous how thin this liner lock is. I would not put any amount of trust in that. That thing could go, you could sneeze and that thing could bend and you'd be in deep trouble. It's made out of G10 that's neutral. I really like that. That's actually one of the things that drew me to this knife. The fact that it's the blade geometry. I just noticed it says D2 on there and it says D2 on here. They really want to let you know this knife is made D2. In case there's any questions, it's D2. We will go to our graves swearing it's D2. The pocket clip, when I got it, was so loose it almost fell off. I got it tightened up. It's fine. This screw for the back spacer just fell out one day. I screwed it back in, and yes, I did take it apart, but I promise you when I put it back together, I screwed everything back tight. The pivot, I don't think it's a true dual pivot. I think actually this side's a lock, and this is the only side that actually adjusts the pivot. It has a little bit of blade play. I've adjusted it. It has a little bit up and down, a little bit side to side. But I think I got this knife for like $27, something like that, $24. I can't quite remember. It is that it's just a knife that you can just beat the crap out of. But it just works as a knife. It does everything you need to do. It locks up. It has jimping, because Lord knows we can't have a knife without jimping these days. And the jimping's actually pretty good, believe it or not. It has a forward choil. I'm a huge fan of forward choils. Spyderco Native is probably, the Native and the Parameral T2 are my two favorite knives, and both of them have great big choils in the front. And I never find myself in a situation where I really need to use it. I just like the thought of being able to get in there to control it. And plus, if you have a lock that you don't trust, if you have your finger in there, it's probably, it's going to give you a little bit more security than if you have it out here and that thing fails and, goes wonking into your hand. But the one thing I can say about this knife, and the most redeeming factor about this knife is ridiculously sharp. It came from the factory rivaling some of the sharpest factory knives that I've ever owned. And I mean, when I recently sold two 20 CV Microtech SOCOMs that were just lightsabers. I mean, they're unbelievably factory sharp. I never took anything. Well, that's not true. I did sharpen one of them on a wicked edge, but they were just unbelievably sharp, and they took an edge so well, and they held an edge forever. And this knife for $27, I just love it. It's like my dirty little secret, It's like when all your friends like one band and you have one band that you don't want them to know about that you secretly like. This is that band. It's the band that when you're in your car by yourself and you're sure nobody else likes it, it's your jam. And because nobody else likes it is your jam. You know, I'm not into hyping up knives that don't deserve it, but I can tell you, I adore this knife, and it is a hunk of crap, but it's my hunk of crap, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Which brings us to cut test time. All right, paper warriors, here we go. I got a little Taco Bell receipt here. This thing, it is redonkulous. It absolutely silly how sharp this knife is. It is ridiculous. I mean, it just, look at this. I mean, it does not care what you're cutting. It just goes right through it. Because you want to know why? I'll tell you why. Because made out of D2 steel, that's why. Oh yeah, oh, it's still made out of D2 steel on this side too. Can't get enough of the D2. And I do love D2 steel. But I don't know if you guys noticed that, but when this touches, it's instantly cutting. Instantly is just the bee's knees. And I would love to tell you that this knife is sharp because of something I did. There's nothing I did to this knife. The only thing I did was, you know, run over a ceramic edge and then strop it a little bit and from the factory edge. And this knife, it is terrifying how sharp it is. Now, if you order this off of Amazon and get one for yourself, is your knife going to be this sharp from the factory? I don't know. It might be. It might not be. I can't tell you. But I can tell you that I have no doubt that this thing is made out of D2 steel. I have no doubt the build quality will be one of the worst knives you've ever had. And I also can guarantee you that you'll probably like it, hopefully, like I do. I just, you know, I think this is one of those knives that for $27, it's just a fun little clunky piece of heaven. It's just a rough little beast, and I love it. So let's compare it to some other knives just so you get an idea. You've already seen this, but we'll get her back out there. Got a PM2. Do a little Bel Air action right there. Let's see. How about we'll do Deca Hogue right there. And well, actually this is the second generation, which is exactly the same size. PC. I mean, it's a good sized knife. It's not a teeny tiny knife. It's actually let me get out a Spyderco Native and let's see how it compares. Yeah, I mean, you can see where they might have drawn some inspiration from the Native. Love this knife. Can't tell you how much I love that knife. This is the S90V Spyderco Native, and this is possibly my favorite knife. I love that teal. I love natives. I love the blade shape. And S90V is probably my favorite steel. So anyway, this is not a review of that knife because they don't make that anymore. But yeah, the Phoelux hunting, fishing, camping, take it to the liquor store, whatever knife, I don't know. It's ugly, it's beautiful, it's a piece of crap, it's wonderful. I actually recommend this knife. Nobody on the internet might like this knife other than me, and that's just fine because, hey, it's my dirty little secret. All right, guys. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.